Starting up. Alright. We are now, it's now up and running. And the game is now patched in at 1.0.2G. Which basically just means some glitch was probably fixed up that I don't know about.
This has to do with something. But yeah, you'll fight against the enemies before that you'll know of. But yet the game still it's where they have But you already face them regularly. Like you never did face them. Okay. Okay. So you get warned, you fight them, and then you get...
Let's see, here we go. Talk to Sela.
It's weird.
Alright. Sela smiles at you warmly. Hey there. During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I shake your hand. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, ask anything. I'll answer honestly. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb, a little bit from Katapesh, but mostly from the Knights of Iomade. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belong to their ranks more than I belong to any other place. You've come to Mendev by a long road, haven't you? A very long one. Sela looks at you cheerfully. A traveler is expected to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I have only 3 tales of any interest, and I'd like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. And that just won't do, especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of a battle with chupacabras. You can't tempt me with a story about fighting chupacabras and then not follow through. What are chupacabras anyway? Or you could say lawful. Isn't your attitude towards life and war too carefree, especially for a paladin? Or what a feast it will be. We'll talk when we celebrate our next victory. Yeah, sure. I like your attitude. We'll never overcome grief and misery without hope for the better and dreams of brighter days.
So you're gonna keep her naive. Okay, I see how you work. Well, this is all about changing people's personalities.
Hold on. What made you become a paladin of Iomade? Sela's gaze sharpens momentarily, then she sighs. That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions, but it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Solku with the other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, I was a hired sword for a bit. Not the proper origin for a paladin, is it? Back then, Solku was a city of orphans, widows and widowers. Gnolls decimated the city regularly. My parents were among their victims. People there heard about new deaths before they'd finish mourning their previous losses. One day, a group of knights of Iomade brought a glimmer of hope to the city. But while others saw them as saviors and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armor, wondering just how much one of their pretty swords would fetch. A thief lives one day at a time, that's what they say. I was the type that never fought past the next job. Anyhow, I was able to sneak into the knight's camp and steal one of their mithril helms. Sela pauses, her voice sad and measured. And I was right there when a gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Asemi was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A gnoll like all those others, she'd fearlessly driven from the gates of Sulku. That one blow was fatal, but who really was to blame for her death? The gnoll attacker or the young thief named Sela? And then you can say, I know what it takes to survive sometimes. I can't judge you. It's lawful. Even a seemingly small mistake can have terrible consequences. Chaotic. Life is cruel and full of chaos. Sometimes survival just comes down to luck. Oh, fuck that. You couldn't have known the consequences of your actions. I know what it takes to survive sometimes. I can't judge you. Well, I can. I believe everyone deserves a chance at redemption, but redemption means you understand what you did and you're willing to be harder on yourself from now on. But you were asking what brought me into the ranks of Iomede's warriors. We all choose the Paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some by a desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Asemi died, protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realized it wouldn't make the world any better. And I decided that instead I'd try to take her place. I'd become who she had been, and protect the innocents that she would no longer be able to protect. What are the principles of the Paladin that Paladins of Iomade follow? Sela smiles. I'll tell you. I like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There is strength in these words. After a pause, she begins, her voice slow and meditative. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I have lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I have died. I will have faith in the inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion, and I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. I am the first into battle, and the last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honor sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honor of my fellows, both thought and deed, and I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I may force my enemies to surrender, but I am responsible for their lives. I will never refuse a challenge from an equal. I will give honor to worthy enemies and contempt to the rest. I will suffer death before dishonor. I will be temperate in my actions and moderate in my behavior. I will strive to emulate Iomede's perfection. Then it stops there. Damn.
Who has the sword of valor?
No, I gave her radiance.
That's not the say. There's a relic.
Let's see.
You know, just like in the other game.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of relics in these games, obviously. Let's see. When Discari attacked Canabris, everything seemed to be lost. but the first person I met after the catastrophe was you, my sister in faith. I believe this is a sign that Iomedae watches over us. Oh yeah, I did choose Iomedae as his deity. Okay. I hope that's true. Although, to be honest, our mentors used to warn us against being too eager to see messages from the goddess in every little thing. Being devout is all well and good, but you've got to rely on your own head. Thank you. I've learned everything I wanted to know. I hope I didn't bore you. Ask me anything else if you'd like. Alright. Arabesque state your friend Jana Aldori is missing. Do you know where we should look for her? Arabeth is worried about her fighters. I understand that. I wanted to look for Jana myself, so I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jana and I met in Canabras a few days ago, and just hit it off. We went drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too. But we got separated in the crowd, so we should start looking from the main square. That's where I last saw her. Sela frowns. Jana's a good fighter, even if she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope that means she's alright. Right? What do you think is going on? What's going on in Canabras? Alright. It's complete chaos. It's lucky we're here to handle it, right? Sela smiles brightly. Then she gives you a worried look. Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem Blaze. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. The hell does that mean? Blaze.
Blasé.
Oh. Alright. Thank you, Atrocious, and hello. Oh my god. How long was my mic muted? I know it was on for a while. Maybe it was when I looked up Blase. It usually does when I like alt tab to check out to like try and check for words or something. Let's see. But yeah, let's see. Right around here, when I said many good people and our protector Terendelev died here in Canabras, the Paladin of Iomedae is expected to be properly respectful and solemn. And then, but I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. It can undermine a warrior's spirit. It's better we hold off on grief until we've driven the last demon and cultist from the city. And my best response, I'm not bothered by how you talk. What matters is how you fight. Now you're talking sense. Well, you can trust in my sword. And then I asked if fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? It's like, how about covering myself in glory and becoming a hero of 100 ballads? Or at least a dozen, if they're lively ones. Sela's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me. But there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim, the war against the World Wound. That's why they can sometimes overlook the smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always liked being a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big, important goal, but I'll be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here and there. Alright. I think it's time. I think we should go our separate ways. No. Thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. See the smiles. See you. And that's it. Alright, talk to Arabesque. Arabesque rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? There's a tiefling chained up in the defender's heart. What can you tell me about him? Arabesque shrugs scornfully. Woljif is a petty thief from the gang of thieflings operating in Canabras. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them, and the rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from the defender's heart, but that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? Arabesque squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off our guards' hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful, should you decide to take him along. What's our main objective? You heard what that demon said. They're going to desecrate the wardstone and blow up the whole barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabras, but every city with a wardstone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Iomedae's gifts must not become a weapon of the abyss. These wardstones, I'm pretty sure I keep asking. Yeah. She says the same thing. Why does it keep acting like I haven't asked this before?
Just in case people just skip all on it. A lot of people just, for certain spots, just don't read it.
Huh. Okay. Let's see. Allow me to ask a few personal questions. Frowning a little, Arabesque nods. Please, but I must warn you, there are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Where are you from? I was born in Canabras. I grew up on a farm just outside it. But my way back home lay at the end of a long and winding road. It took me years of traveling through foreign lands before I came to be where I've always belonged. Okay. How did you become a paladin? A bitter smile appears on the half-orc's face. I don't much like to remember it. Believe it or not, the story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I failed to become a knight. My parents were crusaders. May their souls stand together in Iomede's celestial army. When I was born, they retired from the war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. But my father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, and more pious servant of the goddess than he, but still, all his life he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older and it was time for me to serve, I decided, anywhere but Canabras. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters, led by the Honorable Prelate Holram, stalked the city with a heavy hand. Stalk. Mendevian witch hunts. Oh. Who knows what they'd have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to... A smirk that looks more like a painful grimace crosses her face. You can laugh if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Lastwall of all places. You can imagine how well I was accepted in a country that's been battling the orcs of Belkzen since its foundation. Okay, we're gonna look at... What are the Mendevian witch hunts? During the First Crusade, holy warriors streamed into Mendev, where they encountered Sarkorians practicing their unique druidic faith. The Crusaders mistook the wooden idols and rustic rituals for evidence of demonic influence. Groups of witch hunters emerged from the disorganized chaos of the First Crusade. These witch hunters were often self-styled, their tactics little more than brutal trial and error. The least bit of evidence could mark a target for investigation. A club foot, a thick accent, or even a suspicious absence of abnormalities. Ew. You're too normal. Oh my god. The witch hunter groups gained reputations for being cruel and arbitrary. Although these weren't always deserved. Demons ranged freely across the world wound and often spilled into Mendev. Demonic possessions did happen, though not nearly as often as the witch hunters claimed. Genuine witch hunters used divination magic and cautious investigation to draw out and destroy fiends, but they were rare compared to the zealous inquisitors who burned innocents at the stake. With the advent of the Fourth Crusade, the authorities took strong measures to end the bloody witch hunts of Mendev. Since then, the frequency of hunts has dropped considerably. And Belkzen. While orcs can be found throughout Golarion, nowhere else are they as plentiful or live or live in as densely populated settlements as in the hold of Belkzen. Belkzen is an unforgiving wasteland filled with shrub bush, or shrub brush, steep mountains, and uneven badlands, where water is scarce and generally limited to the seasonal flood road. There were many there like me, but we were all treated as second-class citizens. To the locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Yeah. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the goddess granted me the powers of a paladin, but even then, not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realized the simple truth. I serve Iomade, not these people. I don't have to prostrate myself before them, so I left, as a paladin, but not a knight. It's probably hard for you as a human to imagine what it's like, when the very color of your skin and the fangs in your mouth make people in the street turn on their heel to avoid you. I mean, no offense, of course. Oh, of course. Of course.
Nigger.
Now, hey, now. You can't say that. You can't say that. I'm on Twitch. Hold on, is my mic on? Oh, yeah. My mic's on. You can't say that. You know, it's a good thing we're not. It's a good thing that Zero Dragoon is not a popular channel or anything. People would try to. Atrocious, please don't report us. Hold on, wait. Is he still here? Oh shit, Atrocious is still here. Atrocious, please don't report us. I mean, worst case scenario, we can always claim, oh, you were talking about your favorite salad dressing, which is, vinegar. And then all the voice clips can come in and say, you got it. You said the thing. All right. Oh, that little outburst aside, and Arabesque's desperate attempt of trying to act like she's unique in being treated the same way so many are. How did you come to join a knightly order? I left Lastwall and went traveling. The goddess guided me, and my path led me to where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. I wandered the river kingdoms for a few years, killing monsters and tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting time, that my true place was in Canabras, but I pushed those thoughts away. I didn't even want to think about going back, but in the end, divine providence had brought me to my senses. You're black, it's all good. But is it though? Is it? Somebody might think, no, he's not. Oh no, there's this one guy on YouTube I really like watching named Cartoons. He had an avatar that was red. There's a red cartoon character. And everybody thought he was a black guy because of how well he talked. And he finally did a face reveal and everybody was shocked he was white. He don't sound it though. He sounded like a friend. He sounded like somebody I grew up with, so I thought he was.
No. He's a minor.
Yeah, he just has a really thick accent, so he probably grew up around the same neighborhoods I did. Anyway, let's see. What was I? Yeah, River Kingdoms. Yeah. Next. It happened in Timon. I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my employer suspected was a cover for Rasmarin spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside I found something far more dangerous than spies, an unholy temple to Zon Kufan. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone, the person who was destined to become my wife, Anivia. But that's another story. Didn't I come across a temple of Zon Kufan in Pathfinder Kingmaker? I destroyed it though, so I guess maybe she can't. No. Like, I think the events in Pathfinder Kingmaker are supposed to be years before Wrath of the Righteous. So these can't. This couldn't be the same. This couldn't be the same Zonkufan worshippers. All right, moving on.
There's more.
After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers and couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults had spread through all of Avestan, including Mendev. Worse, the documents clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, I'm gonna have to look that up, had infested my native Canabras, and were even among the ranks of the Paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would be tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone. Anivia was as eager to destroy the cultists as I was. Alright, Zonkufan. The deity Zonkufan, also known as the Midnight Lord, the Dark Prince, and the Prince of Pain, God of darkness, envy, loss, and pain. Oh my god, how edgy can you be? Possesses one of the most twisted and evil minds in the great beyond. It's like they grabbed a goth kid that was like 15 and said just fill it out as best you can. It sounds like either a very edgy kid came up with it or someone who's really into heavy metal, like death metal music.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the two. All right, hon. His position as God of Pain is well earned, and he has been the root of countless tortures, murders, and worse throughout time. He was once a benevolent demigod named Dao Brawl, but was corrupted when he traveled to the far dark places between the planes and returned in his current form. His half-sister Shellen still holds out hope that she can redeem him.
Twin brother.
Though the Lord of Shadows shows no sign of remorse or compassion.
He was once beautiful, just like...
Now it says half. So no longer twins, they're half now.
Damn.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's now considered a god and not a demigod.
Oh, yeah. He got it corrupted.
I mean, I guess. I don't know if you...
What? What did they have on Low?
On who?
Low.
It's not listed here because she's only talking about cultists of Zonkufan. I'd have to go back to the beginning of the game and go in character select. Alright, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. Pledging their lives to Baphomet, these cultists schemed to subvert the good works of the Crusaders. They caused trouble in Crusader camps, instigating fights and egging participants on to greater violence. They spread lies and sowed the seeds of fear with voices sweetened by magic. Some have even assumed the roles of holy crusaders and risen in the ranks of other knightly orders, waiting for the moment when their treachery can be used to achieve a most foul end. Ugh. You know, that's really messed up. And technically, they're like evil paladins, so they could kind of mask that they're regular paladins. Unless, you know, quick detect good and evil will probably give them away. But it says they focus on being treacherous, so they can probably deceive that. Alright. Anivia and I hurried to Canabras. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved, the half-orc smiles warmly. She knew her way around working locks, tailing people, and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon we defeated, alas, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch. Can you imagine, while Prelate Holrund was chasing witches... through the city, the enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the queen. At first she planned to disband the order in disgrace, but then she offered its command to me, and put its salvation in my hands. Of course, there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight, but I was made commander just the same, skipping the usual progress through the ranks. Lore religion check passed. I can't imagine the followers of Zon-Kuthon in alliance with demon worshippers. Shouldn't they hate each other? They should, but Baphomet's minions are masters of deception. They manipulate Zon-Kuthon's butchers as eagerly as Iomede's knights. The cultists from that unholy temple didn't know the true face of their associates in Canabras. We ourselves learned the truth much later, after getting to the bottom of their nest. Oh, wow. Is it because Zon-Kuthon's like an actual deity? Whatever. Alright.
It looks like an ordinary guy.
Alright, let's see. How did the people of Canabras feel about your background? They tolerated it surprisingly well. I shouldn't have been so wary. Crusaders don't tend to be prejudiced as a rule. After all, heroes from all over the world, even from other continents, come here to fight the demons. Apparently, the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs. There were already many like me here, and we don't have any problems. Though the locals do have their superstitions, Mendev is as merciless as Lastwall. They just have a different set of victims. I kept seeing those same sideways looks and scowls, hearing the familiar whispers. But where once they used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. It's so strange to be on the other side of humiliation, to wipe the spit from your face, and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. You must have figured out by now that I'm talking about tieflings. It's true there are many of them among the cultists, and few among our crusaders, and our fighters do all they can to drive away those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them a Rilu's spawn or worse, as if they chose to be born like that. I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as the enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Alas, I haven't been able to change this in all my time in Canabras. I should probably make a tiefling and then be as evil as I fucking can. Yo.
I'm gonna make an Oni.
An Oni? Is that even available in this, or would it just be like thematic? Oh, bloodline?
Yeah, it's a bloodline.
Alright, Tell me about Anivia. We met in Taimon We met in Taimon as I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. You can make an Oni. Okay, thank you. Alright, we're gonna do that. Alright, we met in Taimon as I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. We returned to Canabras together to expose the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. The first was the day of our wedding. But Anivia isn't just my beloved, she's my staunchest ally. We share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then, the day Canabras fell. Before her return, the only thing giving me the strength to protect the defender's heart was the hope that I'd see her again. We are in your debt. Thank you for your answers. Arabesque nods without saying a word. Tell me about the Eagle Watch. It was a small order, created to fight not only demons, but also the enemy within. To maintain the purity of the Paladin ranks, prevent heresy, and identify spies. And it failed miserably at that. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Anivia and I practically built it from scratch. We got rid of dead weight, people who weren't committed. We organized ways to transmit messages and orders safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. We found tacit... Alright, hold on. I'm about to grow my vocabulary yet again. Tacit.
Tacit.
Alright, understood or implied without being stated. Got it. Alright. We found tacit allies around the city, from crusader orders to street beggars. This was my personal crusade, to purge the city of the Templars that had infested it. And I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cultists out of Canabras, but, Arabesque frowns, it's hard to admit, but those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. And then you can say something, alright? Success. When we got up to the surface, there were more cultists in the city than crusaders. What exactly was your order doing? Or let's see, exactly, intrigue and spying mean nothing when it comes down to honest fighting. Nah. Or say, I'll do the last one. On the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Heart. The cultists would have served up the city like on a platter to the demons. Yeah, sure, that one. The lines on Arabesque's forehead soften. Yes, that's true. It's a good thing we achieved something. Thank you. I have to go now. My people need me. Go. May Iomade keep you safe. Alright. Awful lot of dialogue. Alright. So... Kiado. I believe... Oh yeah, the stuttering guy. Let's see. Anyone else to actually talk to?
What kind of person are you going to make for the Oni?
You know what? Yeah. Let's go for the Oni. Right now. Let me save this. I'm going to... So we're gonna put pause on this. Let's see, how long was this stream for? No, you know, no. I'm gonna keep this up for another 17 minutes. Get at least an hour. And then I'm gonna just cancel this and then change the text from good to evil. And it won't be first playthrough, and then I'll just like start uploading my evil jackass tiefling on YouTube or something. just so everybody can see what being evil is. Let's see. Staunton Vane. The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty, lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead. Jesus.
You need to kill him.
Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the Grey Garrison. Name's Staunton Vane. If you've heard rumors about me, his face, which looks like it has never known anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces. Hold on, let me finish. Just so you know, everything people say about me, it's true. Alright, let's see. I need to talk to an elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? The Storyteller? Staunton strokes his beard in thought. That's barely... Alright. A strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours, asking about all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort. He just listened. At first, I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible, but later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he is alive and well. He's completely blind, and feeble too, so if he's alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Blackwing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on the map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. Blackwing Library has been revealed. What do people say about you? They say I'm a traitor, as bad as a Rilu Vorlesh, I guess. That I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. That Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. That I belong on the gallows. Damn. Alright, a Rilu Vorlesh. Let's see. Hardly any name arouses so much rage among crusaders as the name of Arilu Vorlesh. A Sarkorian witch who initiated the opening of the world wound and then made it expand. Almost nothing is known about her life before the atrocity, except that Arilu was condemned for using arcane magic, which was persecuted in Sarkorius, and imprisoned in the Tower of Threshold near the city of Iz. This is where Arilu conducted the ritual that paved the way for the demonic invasion, and left her land to be tormented by the demon lord Descari. In some mysterious way, the witch transformed herself, turning from a regular human into a half-demon. Over the following century, Crusaders only encountered Arilu or the results of her experiments a few times, but learned nothing more of Descari's henchwoman. She holds a high position in the ranks of the Army of the Abyss, and holds the title of World Wound Architect. Let's say, as bad as her. Damn. Alright, let's see. Worse than the ranks of the Condemned. The Condemned is a military unit made up of petty criminals conscripted of disposable soldiers and frontline fodder in the Mendevian Crusades. So he's
Worse.
disgraced even among them. That Queen Galfrey, alright, who's that? Queen Galfrey is the absolute monarch of the Crusader state of Mendev and leader of the Mendevian Crusades. While today the name of the Crusader Queen is known throughout the Inner Sea region, it's easy to forget that Galfrey did not start her rule of Mendev as a paladin of Iomade, but rather of Erodin. When the world wound opened and forever changed Mendev, Galfrey was still an untested young ruler who was forced to deal with the death of her god while simultaneously rallying her nation against the abyssal threat to the west. Damn! She's a badass!
Got slain. Lots of powers.
Your deity can die, you don't give up. Fucking props. Alright, hold on. She rose to the challenge, however, and her leadership was instrumental over the next several years. And yes, she is that old. Okay. She is an elf?
No.
Whoa. Oh. Wait, how? I thought Asmar's age's the same as humans.
She got an elixir. You know.
Oh.
Alchemy.
Oh yeah, I read something about that in Kingmaker. There's an elixir that actually lets you live forever. It's just expensive.
Oh yeah. And she did.
Alright, let's see. She rose to the challenge, however, and her leadership was instrumental over the next several years. Not only in protecting Mendev from demonic invasions, but also in holding the border against the world wound. When the Church of Iomade organized the First Crusade, it joined forces with Mendev to push back the demon armies. During these battles, Galfrey time and time again distinguished herself with a keen grasp of tactics and skill at leadership. But this inspiration went both ways. In the Church of Iomade, Galfrey found something to replace her lost faith. By the time the First Crusade ended with the apparent defeat of the demon armies, Galfrey had converted and become a worshipper of Iomade, and had completely retrained herself as one of the Inheritor's most devout paladins. Eager to retain such a valuable leader at the head of the Crusades, the Church of Iomade twice purchased and presented to the Queen the rare and expensive Sun Orchid Elixir, which extends mortal life beyond its usual span. Thanks to this boon, the Queen has lived and led the Crusader for more than a century. Damn. Alright, let's see.
Usually only headaches go on.
Hold on. Why do they hate you so much? You really don't know. Staunton gives you a long, morose look, then sighs. Be right back. I'm gonna expand my dictionary yet again.
Dang.
I think I heard the word morose once, but it was like in an RPG. I heard it like maybe in 1 or 2 games from like over 10 years ago.
Morose.
Sullen and ill-tempered. Man, my internal dictionary is just gonna expand to like scholar levels.
Know what? Pathfinder does have an glossary.
Alright. Let's see. Gives you a long, ill-tempered look. And then sighs. I'm the reason why the Crusade forces are holed up in fortresses on the edge of the world wound instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the wound, the mighty unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel, Dresden, founded as a city fortress during the hubris of the First Mendevian Crusade. Dresden was overtaken by the demonic hordes of the Whirlwind. It now stands as a demonic monument to the foolish naivety of those early crusaders. Alright. Oh, hold on. My mic's... Alright, yeah. It usually mutes itself. I'm on the lookout for it now. Alright, I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so. But the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I had done. So that's how I live, decade after decade, fighting in the condemned. The dwarf shrugs. As you can see, I have fixed nothing. And I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? It wouldn't surprise me. Evil, spit in Staunton's face. You have the option. Let's see. Good. I hope you earn forgiveness. Lawful. You keep living and fighting with no hope of anything better, because that's what the Queen ordered you to do. There is honor in that. There is? Sure, okay.
Do say that.
Hold on. Let me check the next one. You were given the chance to live, so live, and stop blaming others for what you've made of your life. Sure, I'll do the lawful one. Keep living and fighting with no hope of anything better, because that's what the Queen ordered you to do. Sure. You may be right, but you know, even stone and iron get worn down over time. I know what it means to live a regimented life, but I cannot rely on my discipline alone forever. I pray to Torag, though he does not listen, that my body breaks before my conscience does. Jeez, oh my god. That's so horrible.
You're so fucked.
A whole city fell because of you? How is that possible? What do you mean, how? The knight glares at you from beneath his furrowed brows. If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask somebody else. Like my little brother, Joran. And if you still don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1000th time, don't. So you really don't have any friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I was completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters in the condemned console themselves by thinking, I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. Commander Tirabate seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about things. It's no surprise that she's the only one to hold on to her sense of reason in this farce. So many years in the condemned. Surely you have paid your penance by now. That's not up to me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands. He falls silent for a moment, and then in a trembling voice he adds, the condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I have prayed to Torag for forgiveness. Countless times I've gone to his priest. Countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the Father of Dwarven kind would answer my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, but just to keep me, but just to tell me that I am still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own God doesn't think I deserve redemption? I have to go. Go on then. Maybe we'll see each other again. This guy's... He's like... It's not edgy. It's like... What's the word?
Fallen hero?
Fallen hero... Nihilist? Or given up? Defeated? I don't know. There's a lot of ways to describe how he's acting. Anivia, what's up? Anivia, in her muted colors, blends almost perfectly into the background. She appears relaxed, but her seemingly unfocused eyes are taking in everything around her, tracking and filtering potential threats. The only tell is the way she drums her fingers on her hip near her weapon sheath. She shows no sign of her injuries and confidently leans on her previously broken leg. She pretends to have just noticed you, even though she watched you approach from afar. Oh hey, see how they patched me up? Now I can run, jump, or dance a jig if I feel like it. Are there any suspicious places in the city that I should pay attention to? There were a couple spots I wanted to check out, but I didn't have time. If there really is a den of cultists there, it would be good if you could swoop in there and bust some heads. You don't even need a search warrant. Anivia shoots you a crooked smile. First one is the Silken Thread. It's a funny little tailor shop that doesn't take any orders and never buys any fabric. But they always seem oh so busy. They're busy with something in there, all right, but sewing ain't it. Or sewing it ain't. Okay, sure. Second one is the Alchemy Shop. Topaz Solutions. And they trade in everything, not just healing potions. Judging by the ingredients they've been buying on the black market, there's something fishy about the alchemical rituals going down in that place. Oh boy. Alright, tell me about yourself. The girl shrugs with a lazy smile. I'd be happy to, There's kinda nothing to tell. What's so interesting about me? Where are you from? Nowhere. I was blown in by the wind and found in a cabbage patch. The girl stopped short. Sorry, that's an old habit of mine. I don't like blabbing about my past, but you saved my skin, so I guess I kind of owe it to you not to clown around, right? I'm from Nidal. First I'm hearing about that place. Nidal is one of the oldest surviving countries in Avestan, having been founded during the uncounted years of the Age of Darkness. Even though it is now beholden to the neighboring infernal realm of Cheliax, oh shit, that place, it retains significant autonomy to pursue its own shadowy goals. Is every place around Cheliax just a shithole? Like
no, it's noble lands and they get money and riches.
Cheliax from Pathfinder Kingmaker is like full of demon worshippers. Devil worshippers. Oh, that's much better. Wait.
That's lawful. They just believe in law, not chaos. Law. Law.
That just makes it all better when the knife twists in you.
Oh no, they got a good order to make sure that they keep in balance.
Please tell me it's not the Order of the Raquel Knights.
No.
But it is Hell Knights.
No, they got Hell Knights. The Hell Knights are the ones that are in Cheliax.
So it is Hell Knights.
No, but that's not the good order that's there. It's a sun. It's a sun. Sun. Something.
What is it? Pelor
Yeah.
or like Sarenrae?
No, not Sarenrae. Sarenrae is like islanders.
Uh-huh. Besides, the Hell Knights kill devils to earn their ranks up. Oh, okay, then yeah, I guess Hell Knights would be in a place full of devils.
Yeah. So they do that.
Alright. Let's see. And Nevius from close to there. Hey Tristian, what's up? Ready to backstab me today or tomorrow? Alright, hold on. I'm from Nidal, and I wouldn't wish my homeland on my worst enemy. You've heard of the place, I'm sure. Ruled by monsters that aren't alive nor dead. And the official religion is the cult of Zonkufan. Jeez.
Yeah.
I knew it was bad, but jeez. I grew up in a slum, like a weed between the cobblestones. I didn't have a dad, but I had lots of aunts and uncles. My mom's cronies. No prize for guessing the kind of business she was involved in. They gave me a set of lockpicks as soon as I could hold a spoon. And while other kids were picking their noses, I was picking pockets. I was gonna say locks. When I was 12, the monks of the Silent Shroud came for us. Creepy guys with their mouths sewn shut. They're the guards of Nisrock. Mom gave me to her friends and we hid in a secret temple of Desna. I never saw my mom again. I lay low in the temple for the next few years, kept my head down. I washed floors, fetched water, listened to sermons. Funny thing, after a while I started liking Desna's teachings. But as soon as I was old enough, I was out of there. I left Nidal and got as far away as I could. Quite a ragtag group you've got here, from nobles to street thieves. You got that right. Only the best for you.
I know that's right.
What do you do if the knights and nobles fail to save the world? The lowlives are our only hope.
Hell yeah. I'll take everything I get.
How did you meet Arabesque? Maybe her side of the story will probably be a little different. I was bumming around Timon a while back, doing this and that. Desnan temples sometimes gave me odd jobs. You know, sometimes they needed people with skills like mine. On the surface, it was fine, I guess. After Nidal, the freedom of river kingdoms should have seemed like heaven. My chance to sit back and enjoy life, but I wasn't happy. There just wasn't any joy in my new life, and I was all alone. No one cared about me, and I didn't care about anybody either. I struggled to find a reason to drag myself out of bed every morning. Tying a stone around my neck and jumping into the nearest river started to look pretty appealing. Jeez. One day I was hired to follow some fellas who the local authorities suspected were Rasmiran spies. I was stupid. I made a rookie mistake and they caught me. It's like my body had already decided to do what my mind had been fighting to finally put me out of my misery. Get someone else to kill me, since I didn't have the guts to do it myself. They grabbed me. I thought they'd gut me on the spot, but instead they hogtied me and dragged me off. And just like an animal going to the slaughter, my only thought was, let's get this over with. They brought me to their stinking cave, threw me on their altar, and I realized who it was. Kuphites, from Nidal. They tracked me down after all those years, but I didn't care anymore. Wouldn't even have cared if they'd eaten me or whatever. We all gotta go sometime, right? So I was lying there, staring at those knives pointed at me, when fate rolled the dice, and I hit the jackpot. Arabesque. There she was, storming into the cave. Maybe we should use that term whenever you have to roll for something. I cast the dice log, the winds of fate. Alright, picture it. I'm lying on an altar with all these knife-wielding maniacs around me, and suddenly Arabesque storms in. I thought it was Iomade herself, fierce in her shining armor with her gleaming sword raised. She made quick work of those scumbags, chopped them up just like that. I didn't even have time to blink. She untied me, and then the girl's face lights up as she chuckles. She looked through the papers they had on the table, and she started swearing like a sailor. So much for Iomade. Alright. How did you and Arabesque end up in Cannabis? After almost becoming a human sacrifice, I knew I never wanted to leave Arabesque's side. What's going on? Yeah, no worries. I said it was gonna be in 17 minutes. I'm still on time. Let's see. Desmond knows I fell for her instantly. And I fell hard. My misery was gone. And when Arabesque showed me what was in those papers, proof that the cultists had a nest in her home city, well, I offered to help without a second thought. Anivia smiles warmly. She must have figured I couldn't wait to get revenge on the cultists. But I didn't give a damn about them. It was her. I'd go anywhere with her. Even on a crusade or into the jaws of a dragon. But I took to life in Cannabis like a duck to water. I used to be an outcast wherever I went, but half of the Crusaders are the same. After all, who'd volunteer to tangle with demons on the edge of the abyss? You gotta be either a goody two-shoes with too much honor and free time, or a misfit with no life out in the normal world with normal people. People come here to run away from their debts, their past, from themselves, so I fit right in. What is it like living with Arabesque? It's like living. Without her, I wouldn't be. Seriously, if I were alone, I'd definitely be gone by now. Sure, sometimes we argue, can't deny that. Sometimes we bang our fists on the table and yell so loud that the walls shake. But that's all about order business. But at home, well, I'll give you an example. I've kinda always wanted to move out of that broom closet we call a house and into somewhere cozier. It ain't like they take a vow of poverty at the Eagle Watch. But every month, somehow most of our spare money is spent on Crusader business. Sure, I get mad about it, but Anivia makes a helpless gesture. It's part of why I love her so much. You know, Arabesque has that thing that matters most for a person, a purpose in life. She's always got a reason for whatever she's doing. Her whole life is a crusade, and I just drifted around, like a leaf in the wind, until Desna brought us together. Now she's the meaning of my life. So it really makes no difference if we live in a mansion or under a bush. Right. Thank you for your answers. Thanks for asking. Telling you all this kind of made me feel better. See, that's much better. That's much better than what was going on with Ragongar and Octavia.
Even though his
So they can write a script for a good relationship. It just took they just had to get the beta test out the way with Kingmaker. With all that campy dialogue. Alright, let's see. What are your responsibilities in the Eagle Watch? Anivia smiles evasively. Nothing official. I'm not even a knight, you know. I just hang around. You sure you want to know the details? Catching traitors and spies and cultists is no walk in the park. It's a delicate job. You can't always do it within the letter of the law. What if we surprise some suspicious blighter with an official search? Everyone will know about it before long, starting with their cronies. Then again, sneaking into people's houses at night ain't exactly legal. Crusaders can't be doing stuff like that, can they? Well, I'm not exactly a knight. The girl trails off. I have to go. Alright, you watch yourself now.
Move out.
Alright. Gamil Hawkeye. Or Gamil Hawks. The huge albino's blood-filled eyes stare impassively at you from behind the bar. What'll it be? It'll be for next time. I have to go. I can probably get the tiefling recruited before 6 though, so the last thing I do will be grabbing, what is his name? Woljif. Alright. Woljif.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I talked to Arabesque and I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
Did you solve the puzzle here? There's a puzzle here?
Yeah.
To answer the question, that means no. I'm sorry.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can ya? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
Woljif is freed from his shackles and rubs Shaft's wrist. Glances around, making sure no one is listening in.
Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go. I'll show you the way.
The puzzle consists of levers and one button. The lever closest to the stairs needs to be up, the other two down, then press the button. Alright. So, this one needs to be up. And then the other two down. Where's the other two? These two. Alright. Down. And... oh wait, no, this one's already down. And then you say I press a button. Is the I think the button was where that shield was. This, right? Yeah. Right. What's in here? An altar? Alright, loot. What we got? A yellow letter. Half a century ago, our parents fled their homeland of Sarkoris, terrified of the invading demons. They were certain that the war would soon be over, so they didn't go too far and found their refuge here in Canabris. They used what little savings they had to build a tavern where any crusader could get a bowl of soup and a good night's rest in exchange for some money and news about their recent victories. The city looked completely different back then. It was a triumphant city full of hope, inspiring songs and brave paladins in shining armor. We praised Our Lady Pulora openly and hoped that the lands of our ancestors would be ours again in no time. Things have changed since then, though. Our parents have left to the goddess's halls. Dresden is long gone. The world wound grows deeper every day, and the Crusaders seem to take more interest in fighting each other and us townsfolk than in eradicating demons. Holrun has gone mad, and now puts all his inquisitive zeal into burning witches. Today, Canabris is a city of fear and suspicion. We even had to hide our altar to the Shimmering Maiden in the basement so they wouldn't accuse us of demon worship. Queen Galfrey has recently appointed Hulrun the prelate of Canabris. Now nothing will stop this murderer from taking complete control of the city into his hands and serving his so-called justice on everyone. His previous acts of violence were just the beginning of a full-scale massacre. We have to flee, run like our parents did. This time not from demons, but from the Crusaders. Soon we will sell our tavern and leave. Anywhere away from the agony of this endless war. May Pelora protect this city from whatever comes next. 10th of Lamachan. 4682. Swargel family of the Devimai clan. If I'm reading that right. And then some stuff. Inkwell, Fine Feather, sure, whatever. And loot. Unidentified home. Scrolls, potionless restoration. Alright, I could use that. Alright. Thanks, Atrocious. Alright, let's see. What is his home? Headband of alluring charisma. +2. I could use charisma. There we go. Why not? Oh wait, hold on. Did someone else use charisma as a stat? Let's see. We got an Eldritch Scoundrel. Fighter. Spear Hunter. No.
Paladin.
Right. Forgot about her. Yeah, let's give it to the Paladin. Oh wait, hold on. She doesn't have her spells yet.
Level 2.
Hold on. Does she really need charisma right now? Is there any paladin ability that uses charisma? Shit, the amount of time she can lay on hands. Hold on. Okay, is there anything else though? Smite Evil uses the charisma bonus. Ah, you're killing me. Fine. It's too good to give. It's too good. I gotta give it to her. Don't say I never gave you anything. Alrighty. Alright. Well, we are going to call it for now, and I'm going to begin immediately a playthrough of Evil Tiefling. So I'll be right back. And yeah. But as my usual sign off is, until then, take care.